This is the rule that decides how French women over 60 layer their clothes in Paris, and it has nothing to do with style. It's a rule about removal. Every layer she puts on at 8 in the morning is chosen for how gracefully it can come off at 2 in the afternoon, and because only 4 combinations survive that test, there are only 4 ways she layers. There is no fifth. Not because a fifth looks wrong, although it does, but because it can't be undone in public without becoming a small performance that everyone watches. Start with the problem, because the problem explains everything that follows. An early autumn morning in Paris, September through November, the transitional dressing months, begins at around 54 degrees. By the middle of the afternoon, it's 72. That's an 18-degree swing inside a single day, and you get one chance to plan for it. Standing in front of a wardrobe before you've finished your first coffee, deciding what you'll be wearing 11 hours from now, in weather you can't feel yet. Most women solve this by adding a camisole, then a blouse, then a cardigan, then a jacket, then a scarf, each one added because the last one wasn't quite enough, and the whole arrangement built for the coldest 10 minutes of the day. It works beautifully at 8 in the morning. By 1 o'clock she's warm, and by 2 she's carrying 2 garments over one arm, and the outfit she assembled so carefully has quietly become an outfit plus luggage. The French solution runs in the opposite direction. She dresses for the afternoon first. She builds the outfit she actually wants to be seen in at 2 o'clock, when the light is good and she's meeting someone, and only then does she add the single thing that handles the morning. The cold hours are managed by one garment with a way out. Everything underneath it is already finished. That reframe is the whole method, and it produces a hard limit. One removable layer. Not one layer that has to come off. Everything else stays on all day, which means everything else has to look correct all day, which means there's no room for a garment whose only job is to hide the garment beneath it. What she ends up with is, in effect, a capsule wardrobe worn in a single day. Every piece intentional, every piece visible, nothing provisional. So here are the 4 builds and what makes each one legal. The first is a coat over one finished piece, a dress and a coat, a knitted dress and a coat, a fine wool sweater tucked into trousers and a coat, 2 visible garments, and the outer one leaves entirely. It sounds almost too simple to be a technique, but the discipline is in the word finished. The thing underneath has to be a complete outfit, standing on its own with no help. Most women's underlayer isn't an outfit. It's a foundation with something thrown over the top of it, and the moment the coat comes off in a warm restaurant, she's exposed as someone who was counting on the coat. The French version passes the coat check test. She hands the coat to a stranger at the door and walks into the room already dressed. The coat itself tends to be classic and uncomplicated, a well-cut wool coat or a trench coat in a neutral, because its job is to leave, not to perform. The second build is the open third piece, a top, trousers, and a jacket, or a long cardigan or a blazer worn over them, hanging open and never fastened. The unfastened part isn't a mood, it's structural. An open third piece leaves 2 long vertical edges running down the front of the body from shoulder to hem, and those 2 edges do more for the silhouette after 60 than almost any other single decision, because they draw the eye down instead of across, elongating the silhouette and creating the kind of proportion that most women are trying to achieve with much more complicated arrangements. Button it, and you've replaced two vertical lines with a horizontal one at the waist and another at the hem. The removal logic works too. An open jacket comes off in one movement, folds over the forearm, and reads as deliberate rather than abandoned. A cardigan that's been buttoned all morning comes off looking like something you were wearing for warmth, which is exactly what it was. And that's the tell. Brands like Cezanne and APC have built their entire third-piece category around this principle. The blazer or long cardigan, designed to be worn open, in fabrics that hold their shape off the shoulder. The third build is the one that surprises people, because nothing in it comes off at all. It's the doubled base, two thin layers worn as a single garment. A lightweight cashmere or fine gauge merino sweater over a cotton poplin, or silk shirt with the shirt's collar sitting outside the neckline and half an inch of cuff showing at the wrist. From 3 feet away, that isn't two pieces. It's one piece with details. And that's the trick, because you've added real insulation without adding anything to the layer count that a stranger perceives, and without adding anything you'll later have to carry. The doubled base is why a French woman can wear a lighter coat than the weather seems to call for. She's already warm underneath, in a way that costs her nothing in bulk and nothing in management. When the afternoon heats up, she doesn't remove it. She just stops noticing it, which is the highest praise a garment can earn. The shirt underneath is often a Breton stripe. That particular combination of fine merino over a mariniere collar is almost a uniform in its own right, and it works precisely because the stripe reads as a design choice rather than a visible underlayer. The fourth build is a scarf, and it belongs on this list precisely because it's so small. A large square of silk or a fine wool wrap worn over any of the 3 builds above, doing all the temperature work that a fourth garment would otherwise be recruited to do. A scarf raises the warmth of an outfit by a genuine amount, because most heat leaves at the neck. And when the afternoon arrives, it's the only layer in existence that disappears completely. It goes into a handbag. It loops around the strap. It weighs nothing, takes up nothing, and leaves behind no evidence that you were ever cold. Nothing else in a wardrobe can do that. A jacket removed is a jacket you're now holding. A scarf removed is a scarf that no longer exists. Those are the 4. A coat over something finished, an open third piece, a doubled base that never leaves, a scarf that vanishes. And what they have in common is that each one contains exactly one item that has to be dealt with later, or none at all. Now the harder half of this, which is why there's never a fifth. The moment you add a second removable layer, you've created a carrying problem, and the carrying problem is where composure goes to die. One garment over the forearm looks intentional, almost elegant, the way a coat looks when someone's just come in from outside. 2 garments over the forearm looks like a departure. Your hands are full. You can't take your phone out without a small negotiation. Sitting down becomes a 2-stage process, because the pile has to go somewhere, and there is never anywhere, so it ends up on the back of a chair where it slides off twice during lunch. None of that is a fashion mistake. It's a logistics failure that happens to be visible to everyone in the room. There's also the choreography of the removal itself, which nobody warns you about. Taking off a layer in public is a physical event with a certain number of steps. A coat is one motion, shoulders back, done. A scarf is a single pull. But a cardigan worn under a jacket can't be removed until the jacket comes off first, and then it has to come off over the head or down the arms. And somewhere in there a sleeve turns inside out, and a bracelet catches, and the top underneath rides up and has to be tugged back down. That whole sequence takes about 15 seconds, and for those 15 seconds, you are the most visible person in the room, engaged in an activity that reads unmistakably as struggling with your clothes. French women don't avoid that because they're vain about it. They avoid it because they built the outfit so it could never happen. And there's the thing the extra layer does to the body, which is the reason this matters more after 60 than it did at 40. Every layer added at the torso adds width at the widest point and adds a new horizontal edge wherever it ends. A vest ending at the hip, a cardigan ending 3 inches below it, a jacket ending somewhere else. Again gives you 3 horizontal lines stacked across the middle of the body, all drawing the eye sideways and working directly against any elongating silhouette you'd otherwise have. It also shortens the neck because layers pile up at the shoulders and the collar sits higher, and a shortened neck ages a silhouette faster than gray hair ever has. The 4 builds all protect against this, either by keeping the count low or by disguising 2 layers as one. And because the outfit stays coherent all day, the shoes stay coherent with it. The loafers or ballet flats she chose in the morning still make sense with what she's wearing at 4 in the afternoon, because what she's wearing at 4 in the afternoon is the same outfit she planned. So here's what this looks like. Tomorrow morning, get dressed for the afternoon. Build the outfit you'd want to be photographed in at 2 o'clock, finished, complete, nothing provisional about it. Then look at the forecast, find the low, and add exactly one thing to handle it. If it's cold enough for a coat, wear the coat and let it be the only thing that leaves. If it's the in-between weather where a coat is too much, use an open third piece and don't fasten it. If you know you'll be sitting outside, put the warmth inside instead, in a thin second layer under a knit, where it can stay all day without asking anything of you. And if you're somewhere in the middle, reach for the scarf, because the scarf costs you nothing and returns almost everything. Then stop. Whatever you were about to add on top of that, don't. It's not that a 5th piece would look bad hanging in front of you. It's that at some point today, you'll be too warm, and everything you're wearing will have to answer for itself. And the woman who planned for that moment is the one who still looks composed at 4 in the afternoon while everyone else is holding their clothes. That's the entire rule. 4 ways to layer, 1 thing that leaves, and a day that never gets to embarrass you.